If you are transitioning from Sony Vegas or Final Cut Pro or iMovie to DaVinci Resolve and you want to do a text animation that you see a lot of YouTubers use, then watch this video. I'm going to go over two different ways to do a text animation. It's pretty easy. You'll get the hang of it pretty quick, I'm sure. We'll go over it really easily. So first, get your media over onto the timeline, okay? And if you don't know how to do that, watch my previous video or the video before that, because I explain like shortcuts and simple things like that. I'm not going to go over every little thing in this video just because I want to keep it shorter for the text stuff. I want to just go over the text and that's it. But so once you have your media, what you can do for the first way of doing a text animation is go up to effects in the top left corner right here. And then you'll see this toolbox, and this has video transitions, audio transitions, titles, generators, effects. You want to go to titles, and then you want to go to text plus. And by the way, this tutorial is literally for the noobs of DaVinci Resolve or the noobs of editing. And by the way, this video is also targeted towards if you are transitioning from Sony Vegas Pro or Final Cut Pro or iMovie to DaVinci Resolve, then watch this video to learn a little something about DaVinci Resolve that you can do in the other softwares, but it is easier and actually better in DaVinci Resolve. We are going to learn how to do a text animation. This is what a lot of YouTubers do. They have a lot of text animations on the screen. Everyone does it differently, but I'm going to show you a few simple animations that you can do for your text. And I'm going to show you two different ways of doing that in DaVinci Resolve, which is going to be the thing that iMovie and Sony Vegas and Premiere Pro cannot do. So if you are like bare bones noob, if you have never edited before, this video is also for you because I am going to go over this very thoroughly so you don't get confused over what I'm doing. So first things first, get your footage that you want to use to put a text over. In this case, I'm going to grab this footage of a guy typing. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag that onto my timeline. And if you are curious about how I got the footage onto this viewer, the left viewer right here, go into your media pool, okay? Go to whatever footage that you want to use, so find that. And in this case, I actually don't know where that is, but just grab that footage and then drag it over to there. That's all you got to do. Click, hold, and drag. If you are new to editing completely, do not do this. Don't do that. That is going to just completely replace this footage right here. Okay, you can see it's cut off now and it comes back right here. So don't do that because otherwise you'll lose that part of the footage. What you want to do is what I did before is put it on top or above the footage. That's the key word, above. So for any of you guys that know how editing works, I'm sorry I had to go through that real quick, but I just wanted to like basically say that so that anybody who is new to editing can, you know, understand it really easily. So now we have our text in here, right? So we're going to move this all the way to the beginning, as I would suggest you do that as well. You don't actually have to, but we're going to do that here. And so now pick whatever font you want. Okay. In this case, I'm going to go with Gotham. And then name it whatever you want. So let's say in this video, this is something that people say a lot in this video. And so you can position it however you want as well, right? You can keep it in the middle, you can move it up top, or you can move it down below. And the way that I did that is if you go into layout while you're in the inspector. So you're in the inspector, you go to layout, which is a tab that you can choose a parameter out of, and then there's the Y axis right here. Okay, there's an X and Y axis of this title. The X part will move it left to right if you just click, hold, and drag your mouse left to right. And then same thing with the Y, but you move your mouse up and down, and then the text itself moves up and down. Okay, so we are going to just keep this in the middle actually, but if you want to put it at the bottom, That's what a lot of people do. Let's actually do that. Why not? So we got that there. And so now we want to animate the size of this text. We're going to do a scaling animation, and I will eventually show you what that looks like once we got this animation settled in. So first, go to size, which is right here. Okay, click on the diamond next to that. And when you click on that, it turns orange or red. And then if you go to frame 10 or 20, let's say 20, how about 20? Click on that one more time. And then we're actually going to click on it another time at, say, 37 maybe. Okay. Basically, we are creating 3 different keyframes. So we have 1, 2, 3. This one is the first one. And we want to start this text out very small, like you don't even see it. So we're going to scale it all the way down. So move the size to 0. And then go to the middle keyframe. This is when it will be the middle of the animation. And in this case, we want it to be a little bit bigger than the standard size. So we'll do 0.1127, sure. And then the last keyframe, we can actually just click on the dot right here. Okay, and then that will take it to the standard size, 0.08. Moving on, save your project. Be sure to always file, save project, because you don't want to lose your work. You don't want to lose any edits that you do. You don't want to have to redo them or try to figure out how you did them. So now we're going to wait for this to render out. You can tell that it's rendering out when the red line turns blue. The whole thing has to turn blue in order for it to be fully rendered out. But then once it is, we are going to watch this animation over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play it now. Saw that? That was nice, right? I'll do it like a few more times. There we go. I'll even close that out and then do this so that you can see it a little bit better. So that's one way to do an animation. That's actually like the most common text animation that you will see on YouTube. And so this is how you do that animation in DaVinci Resolve. Very, very easy. It's a lot different than Sony Vegas or iMovie or even Final Cut, I believe. I'm not very sure about Final Cut, but I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're gonna move on to another animation real quick on the timeline here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a cut right there, okay? So what you can do, you can make a cut and then move this over to make another text. Or what you can do is you can press Alt and then click on your mouse, the left mouse button, and then move your mouse over and move the text plus over to the other side, and you created a duplicate. So I'll do that one more time for you. So hold Alt, click on the text, and then keep holding Alt and move it over, and then release your mouse, and then you created a duplicate text box, the same exact one. So now what we can do is say, instead of in this video, we will say, I am going to, okay? It's like we're kind of starting off our sentence right here. A real quick trick, by the way, say that you have a little bit of room right here. This is going past the footage, right? But you want it to be aligned with the footage. What you can do is click on the snapping button here or press N on the keyboard, go to the end of the video. Okay, snap to the end of the video, and then click on the edge of this text plus, and this icon should pop up for you. When that icon does pop up, go ahead and click. It will turn green. When that turns green, hit E on the keyboard, the letter E for evil. Okay, there you go. Now it's aligned. It's a very, very quick shortcut, instead of just like clicking and dragging it, which works too, but if you're like trying to work fast, pressing E makes it a lot easier. Really cool how you can do that. Okay, so what we want to do now is, instead of animating the size, we are going to animate the movement, like the center X and Y that we were looking at before. So it's down below, right? And we want to keep it there, but we want to animate it coming up from out of frame. So we want this to basically start below the frame and then come up. So what we're going to do is we're going to animate the y-axis, right? Because it's going to be going up, and the y-axis is vertical or up and down. All right. So click on the diamond for the center X and Y. Okay. And by the way, this diamond is for both axes, X and Y. And then the 0.5 is standard. So I know that the X is completely centered, the X axis. Okay, so now we have that first keyframe, and now go like to 10 frames or so. I'm just gonna go here and make another keyframe. We only need 2 keyframes because it's just gonna be simply sliding up, okay? That's all we're gonna do with it. So now click on this arrow, because we're on the second keyframe, but click on the arrow to get to the first keyframe. And we want to get to the first keyframe because that's the one that we want the text to be out of frame like that, okay? So that's where it's going to start and be out of frame. And so that's all you got to do. And now we can play this back once it's rendered, and then we'll see that animation slide up. So we can watch it now. So it's going to slide up just like this. Like that. Pretty nice, right? Isn't it? It's so simple, but like it's great. I like it. I'm gonna make it full screen and play it a few times. I can right click on the square, aka the stop button, and press stop and go to last position. So what that does is when you press the space bar and then press space bar again, it brings you back to where it first was when you played the video. So I'm going to play the video right here by pressing spacebar, and then when I press spacebar again, it brings me right back to that spot. Whereas if I did not have that selected, if I deselect that, and then if I play it again, pressing spacebar to play it, and then press spacebar to stop it, it stops it right where I am actually at instead of back to where I played it from. So that's really nice, right? I like that. So if you want to just constantly replay the same thing like I'm doing now, you can do that. It's really cool. Let's watch the whole thing in this video, and then we'll play it right here. I'm going to. Isn't that nice? I like it. Okay, moving on. And so what we're gonna do is deselect that again. Okay, so now I want to show you just one more cool text animation that a lot of people use. This one is gonna be sliding up and then down instead of just sliding up. So it's gonna be easy to do that from where we have it right now. All we have to do is add another keyframe real quick. We'll do that right here. Add that keyframe, okay? And so go to the middle keyframe, which is where the middle of the animation will be, and that's where we want the text to be above where it's at right now, just a little bit above where it's at right now. So go ahead and move that over like that. And the last keyframe is in the same exact position that it was when it landed before. So that's good. And it's just like that, okay? And you can see it kind of went a little bit too high there. So I'm gonna move that down a little bit more. And then remember, we can right click the stop sign or the square sign, stop and go to the last position. I'm gonna take out the inspector. I'm gonna move this down, press play, and there you go. Now I don't have to move this cursor over every time. I can just press spacebar and it goes right back to the spot that I want to play it from. That's pretty cool, right? It goes up and down. All right, I hope you learned something today. If so, awesome. If not, well, leave me a question in the comments if you're confused about anything, and I'll answer your question to the best of my ability. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel to support it, and I can make more videos like this. In the next video, I am going to show you the same exact stuff, but instead of on here, the edit page, I'm going to show you the stuff in the Fusion page, which is a little bit different, as you can tell, and it might be scary to look at. Don't worry right now if you're new to this whole thing, but I want to go over that because it's just another way of doing what I just did. Might be better for you, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all next time.